Welcome, Vlogger Pod, Joe Pal Putty Man here, and welcome to my official review of What If Episode 2, called What If T'Challa Became a Star-Lord. Now, this has got a lot of Easter eggs, so before we get into that, if you could, first and foremost, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's very crucial you hit that. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when we do the next episode, and so on and so forth. A lot of people come to see my reaction when it comes to, episodes as well. I have some of my viewers that say they want to know if I love the episode. By any means, even though this is only the second episode, it might be one of my favorites if the other episodes don't turn out as spectacular as this is. And honestly, that's the reason why I really don't want to hesitate anymore, guys. We're going to jump right into the Easter eggs. If you haven't watched it yet, go watch it. It's an amazing episode. Great acting. Chadwick Boseman does do the voice of T'Challa in this. And it is amazing, guys. Again, what if T'Challa became a Star-Lord? Or the Star-Lord, however you want to look at it. Anyway, guys, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into those Easter eggs. Now, for our first Easter egg, we have the opening scene from the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, but of course this one's different. Instead of it being Peter Quill's Star-Lord, it is T'Challa Star-Lord. And a lot of people are saying that the episode was going to be titled Black Panther Becomes Star-Lord, but it's actually called T'Challa Became a Star-Lord. This is very important to understand because the name Star-Lord is because of him being a prince within Wakanda. So he became a Star-Lord, a Star Prince. And again, it's not going to be Black Panther because he doesn't become Black Panther. Remember, T'Challa becomes a Star-Lord, and then, of course, we do have Killmonger, which you see in the trailers, becomes probably the next Black Panther, unless they change that as well. We'll definitely find out when that episode comes along. But with that being said, let's continue on with the rest of the episode. And now another piece of the puzzle that's quite hilarious. If you remember in the original Guardians of the Galaxy, he actually was like, who? When Peter Quill said Star-Lord. But of course, when T'Challa says Star-Lord, he gets all excited about being a big fan. And then what makes it even funnier is T'Challa's version of Star-Lord says, that's not what I was expecting. So it's very funny because this was what Peter Quill was expecting and didn't get. But in return, T'Challa wasn't expecting that. That's basically, this T'Challa did not want this kind of response, while at the opposite end, Peter Quill wanted this response and then didn't get it. So it's such a funny little Easter egg to know that this version actually got excited over this version of Star-Lord, but never the Peter Quill version. I had to bring that up. And now, this is one of the biggest things a lot of people are going to be confused about. Why is the Mad Titan working with the Ravagers? Understand, in this one, there is more of a Robin Hood-esque, and the thing is this is all leading up to, and again, this is spoilers for later episodes, if you're not aware, to Ultron getting all the stones, the Power Stones, the Infinity Stones. So what ends up happening is Thanos leads into a good guy, and actually his armor that you see him use in the movies, Gamora ends up taking on the mantle of taking his armor and not being bad, but becoming a new Avenger, and also taking up his weapon from Endgame. So a lot of different changes. But basically, because T'Challa reached the stars and wasn't stuck at home in Wakanda, his personality, his behavior changed a lot of people. And what makes this really amazing as an episode, and what's probably already just watching this episode has brought amazement and heart to me, is that a lot of people, and I this is just me hearing some other people, said that Chadwick Boseman, even though he had cancer, really warmed and changed people's hearts about people in general, and just to love one another. So for them to use that in his Black Panther character, T'Challa character, which again, he's not Black Panther, keep that in mind. This means that you see Ravagers and characters like the one you saw in the beginning of the episode, and of course here Thanos, have now gone the way of the good because T'Challa has now reached others where he couldn't before in Wakanda. And now that he's done that, he's definitely changed the hearts of characters like Thanos. So this is just, honestly, in my eyes, a way of also them embracing Chadwick Boseman and saying, hey, listen, he's a great guy, and this is what he can do in just the world of Marvel. So I love that because Chadwick Boseman does do the voice of T'Challa in here for like 4 episodes before he passed away. So this is really, really heartwarming to see that this was all planned out for this character, for somebody that deserved to have the highest honor as T'Challa. Not just as Black Panther, but just as T'Challa alone. Whether he took on the mantle of Black Panther or Star-Lord. I had to bring that up. It may not be that much of an Easter egg, but I know a lot of people are going to be asking about this. And I figured this is a way to explain it and also bring a little heart to the story. T'Challa can change the heart of anyone, even a mad titan such as Thanos. And he admits when he's wrong. Let's continue. And yet again, another massive change with T'Challa's embracing these stars. If you remember, Drax had a vendetta against Thanos because Thanos killed his wife and his daughter, alright? But because of T'Challa's help with the Ravagers and helping Drax fight the enemy, they ended up winning, and his wife and child live. This is amazing. Drax has become a different character because of this. He's a more happier character because he has his family. This is what drove Drax to be I don't want to say murderer, but the type of character he is in the Guardians of the Galaxy movie. So far, even though I've not seen the rest of this episode and I'm doing the Easter eggs as they go along through the episode, became one of the most amazing episodes ever. This is changing a lot, and it's so great to see the character T'Challa being the one changing things so dramatically. Wow. I love this episode so far. And yet again, another major change. This is going to keep happening, guys. Easter eggs galore with this episode. Now, if you remember, Nebula actually was being tortured by her own father, Thanos, to where she had a whole bunch of chips. Now, she still has the eye thing, which I'm guessing they did that just so you understand that it's Nebula. Not, I guess, because there's a lot of blue characters in the Marvel Universe, so they don't want you to confuse it with Mystique or anything like that, which clearly, with it being the Guardians of the Galaxy setup, Nebula is a part of it. And again, she's still daughter to Thanos. So, wow. They definitely show how beautiful Nebula would end up turning out. And I guess because T'Challa turned Thanos good, Nebula never went through the torture that she did when it came to Thanos' hand. The good they're showing T'Challa creates in the Marvel Universe is amazing. Like they're saying they should have never kept him grounded in Wakanda. Wow. I love this episode. Now we have something I don't know where they're going with this. Embers of Genesis is something I've never heard of in the Marvel Universe, but take away the word embers, which they do look like hair follicles, and they do look like the hair follicles of somebody I know in the comic book universe, especially since he's linked to some of my favorite X-Men characters, would be Genesis. Alright? Wow, such a small picture. When you find pictures online, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so let me explain how Genesis is. Genesis is a multiverse traveler, which works in this sense, and he's been presumed to be Cable's son, or related to him in some way. But he has this weird ability, which I don't know how to explain it. I haven't really talked about this in a long time since some of the Cable issues. Because he has a past with Cable, Wolverine, some other characters, but mostly Cable. And basically, he's able to project, psionic, like link himself, project himself, or put himself into other people's bodies. And then with the armor he's wearing here, which is a very bad graphic, I should have found a different picture. But with his armor, he's able to use or take their powers and use them for his own through the armor. and he has almost killed Cable. He's had different parts of movement through the multiverse. He's not a really prominent character, so I know for me it's not something I've got like memories of because he's in a lot of storylines, but he's not. But he is a big part of the story of Cable, and the only reason why I'm familiar with that is because of Deadpool, Wolverine, and the X-Men in general. For those that don't know, I'm a huge Marvel fan, but I am a way more bigger X-Men fan. So to see the thought of Genesis, I don't know if this is even connected to the Embers of Genesis. I don't know what the Embers of Genesis are. I've never heard that before. The only times I've heard Genesis is the character Genesis and the use of the word Genesis for the original team of X-Men. So I don't know where they're going with this, but this is amazing if it is to do with the Cable Genesis, which means we're getting mutants even as we speak through What If. So anyway, a buttload of Easter eggs. Let's continue. And I'm incorrect, so I will fix my errors. What is the Ember of Genesis? I don't know. If there is something to it and I just don't know about it, comment below, because here it's saying the Ember of Genesis has a way of healing the world. That doesn't sound like Genesis I know. So definitely say something in the comments below. Other part is an Easter egg, but still, hey, at least I brought something in. And if it is connected to him, then dang it, I got something right, even though I feel like I'm wrong now that I've seen the rest of this part of the episode. Let's continue. Next, we have the Black Order. Now, if you remember, in Infinity War and Endgame, Thanos controlled the Black Order. And in this this series, Thanos at one point did have control of the Black Order, but now the Collector does. Because as we stated earlier, the Collector is now in power because Thanos no longer has the power. He became a good guy. So with that being said, they head to nowhere where the Collector is, which you remember in Guardians of the Galaxy he was. But now he's become more stronger. He's like a kingpin. He's much more powerful when it comes to the universe. And so in return, I think the Collector is trying to collect the stones as well to become more powerful. I could be wrong. Again, I haven't seen this episode. But as far as that, he does have the Black Order on his side. So anyway. Next, we have Cosmo the Space Dog. Now, if you remember, he was actually in Guardians of the Galaxy as well. And he actually was in the Collector's clutches as well, which we're going to be going through several characters that the Collector had from the original movie. But what makes this great is we get to at least talk more detail, and they may have a bigger plot when it comes to the What If. I think we're going to have What If animals, and that's going to be a crazy story. So Cosmo the Space Dog is actually like a regular dog, but he has a longer lifespan and has a telepathic and telekinesis powers. And he's able to do some kind of shield thing. I can't remember what it was, but I know with the telepathic and the telekinesis, that's a major part of his character, where the dog can actually communicate with people. And he's old. He's actually has a longer lifespan than regular dogs. So Cosmo the Space Dog was a major character within the well, not really that major, but, you know, is well known in the comic book world, and is a great little Easter egg that James Gunn in the first Guardians of the Galaxy put in there. And, of course, we're getting What If. But that's not going to be the only Easter egg we're going to have. Let's continue. Next in the collection is a Dark Elf. And if you remember, Dark Elves actually appeared in Thor, The Dark World. So, again, this unless I'm missing something, this is pretty much a Dark Elf here. Which Dark Elf? I don't know, but this is a Dark Elf. And finally, the moment I've been waiting for, Howard the Duck makes his appearance. Now, Howard the Duck actually came around on the 70s in the Marvel Comics. He is a character from an alternate universe that does come to Earth, but definitely has ties with a lot of Marvel characters. But then, in the 80s, in our reality, not the Marvel Comics reality, George Lucas directed Howard the Duck, starring Tia Leone and everything. I think I just said her name wrong. Anyway, they made a Howard the Duck movie, which ironically and funny enough was directed by George Lucas. But then, to make things, well, you know, even better, is we then ended up getting Howard the Duck in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 in the collector's area. So, again, Howard the Duck appeared in Guardians of the Galaxy, his own movie, directed by George Lucas, of course, in the Marvel Comics, and now in the What If series. Oh, I'm a geek. I love it. I'm so excited. Now, in this scene right here, we do see a lot of Easter eggs. And I was racking my brain because, like, two of the characters, this one right here and this one right here, look very familiar. They're silhouettes, but I don't know. And actually, through this collection altogether, and the collector's collection, I say, there's a lot more that we see. But the reason I stopped here is because this one looks like Machinesmith. Which is a very obscure character, which the collector does tend to pick up when it comes to in the Marvel comics, or just in general when it came to even the movies. But honestly, I don't know. And I want to go and comb through these because, like, I know this character, but I can't put my finger on it, what the character's name is, or the alien. It's actually an alien, a monster, creature, however you want to look at it. But I can't remember where I've seen it before. You can tell me in the comments below. I'm sure someone's going to do a full breakdown that has a lot of views on their channel and could sit here and go through every single one of them. I would love to be that person, but unfortunately, whenever I don't get these videos done quickly enough, they tend to not get as many views. So unfortunately, I can only get stuff that I see real quick. And of course, Machinesmith is one of those I recognize here. If this isn't Machinesmith, then someone else tell me and correct me on this. But I'm pretty sure this is Machinesmith right here. And then as far as other characters, if I see them and I recognize them, we'll go along. But things happen quickly. I have to slow things down and just trying to get my review and Easter eggs out as fast as I can. But with that being said, let's continue. Next, we have the collection of spaceships, which I definitely see a Star Wars influence in here. But there's a few things I want to point out. First off, the Milano is right here, which is, if you remember right, ends up being, and again, I'm going through the episode as we go along, but ends up being the ship that Peter Quill flies. This looks like the Starjammer, but it's a different version of it. So I'm not exactly sure. This one looks familiar, but I can't put my finger on it. Then, of course, these three right here, I'm not sure. This looks like something that's from Star Wars, but again, I can't put my finger on. And then you have all these other ones. Again, man, if I could comb through and just look at, like do some research and find some of these, I'd be awesome. Again, I'm not like Rockstar or New Rockstar or anything, them where they got enough viewers where they can do research all day. But that being said, one day I'll get there, and hopefully you'll hit that subscribe button to be a part of my channel, and so I can be the one to bring you Easter eggs like this as early as I can. But anyway, with that being said, let's continue. And this is just sad, guys. So the glove you're seeing, or the gauntlet, or whatever you might want to call it, it's not gauntlet, sorry. But the glove you see the collector wearing here, he does state he got it from a chatty Korg. And what he's referring to is from Korg from Thor Ragnarok. Apparently he killed Korg in this universe and has his hand as a weapon. That's messed up, Marvel. Really? You really killed off Korg in this universe? Really? Of course, now we have the weapons behind him. Now, the dark matter dagger that he grabbed is a dark matter energy that is used to forge weapons. I don't remember if there was a dagger involved, but if you look behind him, you do see Captain America's shield, of course, which does bring me great worry, because is he traveling through Ultra Universe? Because in this universe, isn't Peggy Carter Captain Carter? I don't know. And then we do see swords in there like Grass Cutter. Well, some of them, I don't know. See, the thing is one does look like the Quantum Sword. I also see Dragon Fang. Some of these swords might not even be that. That's the problem. And then, of course, I don't know what the weapon is right beside the gun. And the gun could either be the Neutralizer or the Exorcist. I don't know which one it is. It could not even be one of those. Again, trying to do this really quickly and remember different things when it comes to making these Easter eggs is such a difficult thing when you're trying to make it as quickly as possible. But I'm bringing up whatever knowledge I may have at this moment. Anyway, let's continue. And then, of course, we have Hela's crown from Thor Ragnarok. A lot of Thor Ragnarok references with Korg's severed hand. God, I hate saying that out loud. And then, of course, now we have Hela's crown that you see right here. So, a lot of deep-rooted things. And again, I'm getting a lot of Easter eggs from this episode. And in this scene, of course, Nebula tells Thanos, her father, that he's crazy for taking on this whole horde of bad guys to let them all run away. And he says, not crazy, mad. Again, this is just another reference to them calling him the Mad Titan Thanos. So it's just a little nod to mad, if you know what I mean. Next, we have Kraglin from Guardians of the Galaxy talking about jump point. If you remember in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, they used a jump point where he said it makes his face all scrambly, which you'll see right here. So it is actually pretty funny that he referenced that, and I just thought I'd bring it up to you guys as well. We definitely see this in the second Guardians of the Galaxy movie. And then we have the alternate version of Peter Quill. Now, this is, I don't know if this is going to lead into a story that's going to happen. He's working at Dairy Queen clearly by his hat. But his father ends up finding him. And you remember from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, his father did not have good intentions for his son. And now that he does not have the guidance of the Ravagers, this makes me a little worried of what happens with Peter Quill. Now that he's being approached by his father, and he has no recollection of space or anything else. So whatever his father tells him is going to feel natural for him. I feel very bad for Peter Quill right now because I don't know where or what his father is going to do in this situation. And then this ending right here speaks for itself. I'm getting a little teary-eyed as I record this. I may not get that many reviews, but it doesn't matter. This was probably the most amazing episode I've ever recorded of What If, and it's only the second episode. I'm excited for next week. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman, for being the best T'Challa that will ever happen. No one else will ever replace you. Honestly, the T'Challa Black Panther, I never want them to replace him. This really hit my heart. So I'm glad they dedicated to it. And our inspiration and our hero. So, one hell of a way to end a fantastic episode. And there you guys have it. That is my review of What If. We did end up with a couple Easter eggs, like the Genesis thing that wasn't exactly what I thought it'd be. It definitely works for the premise, but it wasn't the Genesis I thought. But I did end up keeping it in the review, or I should say more the Easter eggs. But wow, this was amazing. If you guys did like this video, make sure to like button, make sure to subscribe button. And as always, I'm Puttyman with GamerPotheads. Come back next Wednesday for my next What If review. And do not forget, roll out die score. Peace out. I'll talk to y'all later.